Hello and welcome to another episode of Words with Myself.
For the most part, I genuinely believe that most people are trying their best. They try to do the right thing. They're not generally looking to hurt people or cause harm, but some people are more able to be selfish than others, to be self-focused and put their needs in front of others. For instance, it may be that they have a want or a need, and that may infringe on the wants and needs of other people. For instance, there could be a child who is starving and rob food from a market stall, but the market stall owner still is trying to provide for his family. It's not that the boy wanted to cause harm to the owner, it was that he was hungry and had a need. And sometimes this is not as obvious to us. It could be that someone is being loud and rude and obnoxious and causing a scene, but we don't really think of it from a perspective that this person is doing it from a point of view that they just want attention and they want someone to notice them. They're not intentionally trying to hurt someone. They're trying to resolve the pain that's within them. And sometimes people can adopt this viewpoint where they've been hurt so much they think, well, if the world doesn't care about me and doesn't accommodate how I feel, why should I do the same for the world? In which case we get this vicious cycle of everyone harming everyone and no one being considerate. But this creates this interesting problem. It's like a queue. If everyone forms an orderly queue and there are a few people jumping the line, sooner or later the people that are queuing are going to feel like, well, if everyone's just cutting in, why shouldn't I? Why should I be wronged out of my position in the queue because no one else is honouring it? And then that's when chaos arises. It completely erupts into disarray. Everyone's trying to cut in front of everyone else, and sooner or later the queue is completely lost. So it takes a system of civilized people to be like, hey, we're going to honour the rules of this, because if we don't honour the rules of this, it's going to completely fall apart. But anyone who has experienced the world knows that there's always going to be people that don't honour the rules. People that put their own needs above the needs of the collective and think that they are more important or more deserving of what everyone else is waiting for. And that creates a system of order where the people that are selfish, the people that are willing to skirt around the rules and evade doing the things that are honourable and right, get ahead and are advantageous. Because if everyone is following the order of the queue and no one is jumping ahead and then I jump ahead, I've gone to the front of the queue. I've been rewarded for doing the wrong thing. And this is obviously why there are systems of control in place. There are people put in a position where they are ensuring that things follow the right order. People stick to the queue, and there are security guards that ensure that people stay in line and adjust people and kick people out if they try to cut ahead of others. But often these systems fail, and the security guards can't notice everyone cutting in, they can't watch every person, and sometimes people still get ahead. But in our personal lives, we don't have really any of these systems of control. We don't have an authority following us around. We might have our parents when we're kids, maybe a partner or friends to stick up for us, but most of the time it's up for us to be that system of control for ourselves, for us to affirm our own boundaries and tell people what is right and what is wrong, what you are willing to accept and what you are not willing to accept. And often it's the people that are considerate, courteous, follow the rules, that get done over and left behind, because they are always doing the right thing, yet the right thing doesn't always produce the right results. And often in life, it actually works out as quite the opposite. The people that lie and cheat and betray others are the people that actually get ahead. They are not limited by their conscience. They're not limited by rules or regulations or other people's feelings or consideration. And this provides a massive advantage. Not only are they able to subvert the rules and be free from the burdens and restrictions that other people are, they also know and can predict what other people are going to do because they know what the rules are and they're aware of it. And they know that people are going to stick to the rules, which makes them very predictable. And this doesn't seem very fair, and it's not. But what can we do about that? It seems like it's forcing us down the road of joining the people that don't care, that don't respect other people, or don't have consideration. And we know that if everyone does this, it leads to chaos. It leads to everything breaking down and the loss of order. And for most of us, this is an impossible consideration anyway, because it goes against the grain of who we are. And we don't want to do things that are harmful to others. We don't want to lie and cheat and hurt other people. We just want other people to extend the same level of courtesy and respect as we extend to them. But there are always going to be people that don't. These people are trapped in a cycle, though. These people didn't start off inconsiderate and selfish and spiteful and hurtful, but the world treated them like that, so they decided to retaliate. They decided to join in and give up who they are. And it's easy to forget what the experience of that kind of person exists like. We see it from the outside perspective, where we see them getting away with things, doing whatever they want, and enjoying freedoms, perks, and benefits that we don't get to enjoy. But what we don't see is the fact that they are suffering, and that this state and the choices that they are making is causing a perpetual state of suffering. When we think of gangster films, we can see these people that are ahead of an empire, but they can't trust anyone. They might have the cars and the houses and the money, but most of their friends are dead, or they haven't got any friends, and they don't have much family, or they're constantly worried about their family getting murdered or something terrible happening to them. They're constantly looking over their shoulder for when the police are going to raid them and take away everything. And obviously that is an extreme example, but no matter who it is, we don't know the extent of their experience. We don't know if it's a good experience. We just assume it is because they have something that we want. But living that way is perpetually harmful. And to some people, they're okay with that. They're aware they're going to die. They know that they just want to experience something, and they're just focused on having the experience that they want to have, and that's it. But we know for ourselves that that isn't really what we want. We don't want that experience. We're just frustrated with feeling like we're always drawing the short straw just because we chose to do the right thing. And I always struggle with statements like that because we truly don't know what the right thing is. We don't really know what is good and bad. And we can only use our judgment or the judgments that we learn from other people to decide that. And for us, something that is considered really rude in one culture may be considered normal best practice in another culture. So when you extend this to a global problem, it becomes even more difficult because not everyone's customs are the same. Not everyone's expectations of everyone else are the same. Not everyone's standards are the same. There is no universal law of what is right and wrong, what is good and bad. There is just experience, and it's all subjective. And as much as I don't agree with doing bad or intentionally harming other people or other things, what I do understand is that some people get too caught up in following the rules, because a lot of rules and a lot of things that are pushed onto us are not intended for our benefit. They are intended to control us, and that is for the benefit of somebody else. There is too much misinformation. There is too much political manipulation, marketing, advertising, capitalism, everything that is trying to dictate to you what you should and shouldn't think, what is right for you and what is wrong for you. And they're not telling you for your benefit, they're telling you for their own gain. And the more you look into the sheer volume and amount of manipulation that goes on, the more you realize and think, well, why am I paying attention to any of this anyway? And it can make you want to go right in the other direction and go, I don't care anymore. Nothing's real. It's all a load of rubbish. I'm just going to do what I want. But then you end up back in chaos, because the idea of structure and rules and order is not inherently a bad thing. It's actually a really positive thing, The problem that we have is that the people that are pulling the strings, the people that are laying that order, are doing it deliberately in a manipulative way. They are doing it for their gain. And this is why I put such a strong emphasis on looking inward, of using your intuition, of stepping inside yourself and understanding what feels right, what feels wrong, what you think the right decision is and what you think the wrong decision is, and identify where those perspectives come from. Because for as many years as you've been alive on this planet, you have been influenced by external factors, and it can be hard to decipher what is truly an instinctive thought, what is your belief, and what has been given to you or forced upon you by external factors. You need to decide for yourself what is the right thing for you and what is the wrong things for you, what experience you want to have and what experiences you don't want to have. That's it. You have to decide that for yourself. That is your responsibility to decide what is good for you and what is bad for you, what is right for you and what is wrong for you. And you will get guidance along the way. If you pay attention to your body and slowly begin to analyze and identify the feelings and emotions and reactions that come up, you will be able to begin to discern between your truth and a truth that is forced upon you. You will know what is right and wrong. But it takes work and it takes time to develop that analytical ability and also just the ability to kind of take off the lenses, take those glasses off that we've been wearing for, decades even, where we've looked at life through this one perspective and it has skewed the way we see everything. You can believe that you have spent your life doing the right thing, but instead all you've really done is appeased other people and look to satisfy other people's needs and never put yourself first, never put your own needs above other people. And sometimes it may be a case that you want to do something for someone else. You don't mind foregoing something that you want so that someone else can get what they want. And that's okay, but that has to be exceptions, not your baseline rule. If you're going through life doing everything for everyone else and not doing anything for yourself, not only are you going to be miserable, you're going to be resentful, and you're going to get into that state where you're looking at everyone else who is apparently being selfish and breaking the rules, but really they're just doing what they need to do for them, and it's your inability to do the same for yourself that is aggravating. You're annoyed that you can't put yourself first, and that's not their fault. That's not their problem. That's your problem. And it's not enough to evidence that by saying that, well, there's people that are selfish or horrible and they don't do anything for anyone, and yet I do everything for everyone. Because the answer is always the same. The universal answer is always balance. It's sometimes you need to do what you need for yourself. That doesn't mean that you are always selfish and don't care what anyone thinks and don't think about how your actions affect others. But it also means that you can't always be so considerate and so thinking about every little thing that impacts someone else or something else, and you don't do anything for yourself and you never get anything done. If you're always ending last place, you're going to be miserable. And if you're miserable and unhappy, how can that be the right thing to do? It's good that you want to do the right thing, but you have to make sure you are doing what is right for you too. Thank you for listening.